What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discuss all the topics you send through to me on Twitter. And just in case you haven't seen, the 3 weeks out fight vlog is up. I've also got tickets now. The ticket link was fucking around, so we just told the O2 we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. So I've got seated and standing tickets. So just hit me up in the DMs on Instagram or Twitter, and then you can either arrange for me to post them out to you, or you can come down to my gym and collect them. Feeling good, looking forward to it. It's for mind charity, mental health. It's for a very good cause. It's boxing, and it's also going to be entertainment, so there'll be music and comedy as well. Looking forward to seeing you guys down there, man. And yeah, let's get into your questions. All right, the first one, it says the Green Devil, and then it doesn't show the rest of his Twitter handle. It says, get Wan-Bissaka in and put Delo on the left, Delo at left back. A left back with a right foot like Owen. I like the sound of it. What about you? Bro, when Dalot played left back, he actually got like an assist, bro. Like, he's very good at left back because he can cut back like how Ashley Young does, but the delivery that he puts in, his crossing is A1. He's the best crosser of the ball at the club. And actually, at Porto, he did actually play as a left back prior to coming to Manchester United. Even though obviously he is a right back, he was playing on the left. Whether that was because they thought it was his best position, or maybe that was the only position available and he made it his, I'm not entirely sure, because I don't know that much about his backstory. But I do know that he only played, I think, like 6 first team games, and before that he was in the reserves and he was playing on either side, but in the first team he played on the left. So I like the sound of it, but Luke Shaw is a given. It's clear that Ollie likes him. Everyone knows my feelings on him. I don't rate him. I think he's bang average. Can't even get in the England squad, and that says it all, really. People were saying it was a vendetta from me, but what about Southgate? Because Southgate's telling you lot that Chilwell's better than him, like openly. Do you know what I mean? And Danny Rose, so which I already said. So Southgate's telling you that at best he's England's third choice left back. And if that's the case, and we're supposed to be the biggest team in the country, why do we have England's third choice left back? Do you see what I mean? So I don't really know. So yes, Dalot at left back, I would like to see it. But realistically, I think that Shaw's a favourite of Ollie's, and you can expect to see Shaw as a left back, especially after the fact he signed a new deal. Let me know what you guys think. Could you see Dalot playing at left back next season? All right, next one is Max2 Anib. It says, do you think that not only buying the wrong players, but also playing the ones that are good out of their own positions has been equally harmful? E.g. Martial on the left rather than as a forward, or Alexis Sanchez on the left rather than the right, or as a centre forward. Scored loads of goals for Arsenal as a centre forward. Completely agree with you, bro. And also for Udinese as well, he played in a 3-5-2 and he played in the 2, like as a false 9. So I believe Alexis's best position is in a false 9. He's a central player. He can drift outside both sides. The goal that we scored against Tottenham, I think it was Tottenham. Yeah, Alexis Sanchez got a header. But what was it? What game was it when he whipped the ball in from the right and I think Pogba chested it down? I can't even remember now. But Sanchez has influenced the game from the right side of the pitch for us, even though he wasn't playing on the right hand side. And I feel like we got Martial that was doing bits on the left. Sanchez comes in, sirens, and instead of putting Sanchez in the position that Mkhitaryan left, fucking Maureen drops Martial. When he moves him to the right, he doesn't play well, then he drops him. Whereas the common sense thing would have been to do is just put Sanchez on the right. And then it's the same with Martial. Martial's a striker, played up front for LVG, was our top scorer. But in fairness to Martial, his quality is his own downfall. He's so good from the left that if we don't play him on the left, then we lose something, because Rashford's nowhere near as good as him from the left-hand side. And it's like, yeah, I think that's what it is, really. I think that you lose something when you remove him from there. So, like, he's been a victim of his own quality. So I would like to see, like, a good left-sided player come in and Martial move up front, ideally, because Rashford from the left doesn't cut it for me. Let me know what you think about that. Two very good questions to start. Two that I pretty much agree with, but I know there's going to be a mixture of opinions in the fan base, which is fine. Let me know. All right, the next one is CPT_hot sauce. Out of the youngsters and players on loan, which do you feel can have an impact at United either next season or long term? Which should we let go? Greenwood, Twanzebe, Chong. A lot of time to develop, I think, will be impactful. All right, for me personally, I think Greenwood is a worldie waiting to happen. I think Twanzebe's quality as well. Like, I don't know if he's not starting for United quality, but he's definitely starting in the Premier League quality. Do you know what I mean? If he came up with Aston Villa, if we weren't going to take him back, I would. But if we didn't, I'd be very, very interested to see how he does at Aston Villa going forward, playing week in, week out. I think he'd do a job, bro. I do. Tahith Chong, good player, but I don't think he has the star quality that Gomez has, that Greenwood has. I don't think he has that star quality. I think he's just going to be a very good, steady player, like a squad player, similar to Jesse Lingard. I'm not comparing him to Jesse in terms of style of play or something like that, but I just mean in terms of I don't think he's got that star quality that's going to take him to the level where I'm like, man, has to start for us. Do you know what I mean? Even though he is fleet-footed, he's not particularly fast, bruv. Like, he's not rapid. Do you know what I mean? He's just quick. His touch is all right. It's not amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things he does that are good, but they're not amazing. So, yeah, I think that out of those guys, Greenwood and Twanzebe, I think they have a future. Chong, I think he has a future, but not as a starter. Gomez, I think Gomez has the star quality, but we'll just have to see. I think there's a question about him in here, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, guys. But let me know what you think about these guys. Who do you think that's currently out on loan? Throw Fosu Mensah in there as well. Who do you think stays? Who do you think leaves? All right. G_greatness, Edmund. If we get Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Fernandes, Rabiot, Bale on loan, what would be seen as a successful season for you? Also, if we get all these man and the performances don't improve, how long do you give Oli before it's time for a change? Great question. Me and Flex answered something quite similar on the Flex and Rant show, which is coming out tomorrow, so look out for that. I think if we get all of these man, then third has to be the minimal requirement, because for me that takes us above Tottenham. If we get these man in there, because these are all quality players that come immediately into the starting lineup and change the dynamic of the team, change the quality of the team. And if we're not peppering teams with these men on the pitch, you have to look at the manager. Like, if we get all these men and by Christmas we're not firing, bruv, then I think that the fans will be demanding for Ollie's head, because there were a few murmurs anyway towards the end of the season, like, bro, like I told you, he wasn't that guy, and did we jump the gun? I think it's only a matter of time before people lose complete patience with Ollie. So, with that in mind, I think that if he does get backed like that, he has to hit the ground running. If he doesn't, like, certain men are going to have their foot on his neck, and I can't even defend him, because, as I said, the run we went on towards the end of the season, if he started like that, he would have never got the job. We have to be realistic, innit? Like, it was like, what, 2 wins out of 12? Like, that's sackable, even with the start that he had. So he has to thank his lucky stars that he had the support of the fans and also the owners, because, as I said, if that was Real Madrid, Perez is pulling the trigger on Oli. Let me know. Undisputed Chapo Bay, where do you realistically see the club in 5 years? I think that's a good question, but I think that also is quite vague. I think that really depends on how we spend the money, because right now we've only signed James. I think it's how we spend the money, how we set up. I think that all depends. If we spend the money and get like the players that we were just talking about before, and we continue to invest in that manner and back the manager, then in the next 5 years, we have to be competing for the title. I'd say in the next 3, we have to be serious title contenders. In the next 5 years, we need to be contenders for the Champions League. If we're spending like that, do you know what I mean? It's not just necessarily the amount of money we spend, because it might not be a big net, but that kind of intent. If we're bringing in that kind of quality, you have to be looking at a team that's competing in the Champions League, competing for the Premier League. If we're not doing that in 5 years, there's something wrong. So yeah, I think that question very much depends on how the resources are distributed amongst the playing staff, etc., etc. But I have to say the signs are good at the moment, like more than they ever have been. So I'm gonna try and be optimistic until I can see evidence of this going down the shitter, and then you'll hear from me. You man already know. Let me know in the comment section, what would you say next 5 years? Where do you think we should be, or would you see us being? At Miller MUTD, do you think it's worth spending 60 million on Wan-Bissaka when we already have a right back in Dalot? Yes, I do. The reason why I think that is because he's already adapted to the English game. He fits the profile that Ollie wants. Because yes, we do have Dalot, but Dalot wasn't Ollie's signing. Ollie likes physical, high pressing, high energetic players. Dallow's not that. Dalot is quick, but he's a different kind of right back. He's more cultured. You've seen him play right wing and look amazing. So, and he can do a job left back. Let's never forget that. So for me, Wan-Bissaka has to be a priority. If we don't sign him, City sign him. He's that good. He's young. He's English. He will get better. And for me, I wouldn't pay 60 million for him. I wouldn't say he's worth 60 million, but if that man asked for like 45 million plus add-ons and it went up to 60, oh well, do you know what I mean? I think Kyle Walker cost like 52 million and he was older. So, bruv, it's just a going rate at the moment, man, unfortunately. What you guys saying? 60 mil for Wan-Bissaka, too much? All right. Billy Rizkala, who should be our next manager when Ollie gets sacked before December? Bro, and someone underneath was pissing himself laughing. That was a fucking funny question. Has to be Pochettino, bro. I don't know if he's going to get sacked before December, but I can't look past Poch. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I had to read that question because it's hella funny, hella presumptuous, but see, like I told you, there's a few men that are like, yo, Ollie's done out here. So it's good to have a mixture of views in it. This is not an echo chamber. And it's Boyo Robbo again, Mark Roberts. Hello, mate. How you going? I hope you're going well. What are your thoughts on the looming European Super League? Seems inevitable based on the major Euro clubs lobbying to get bigger piece of the financial pie. Would this destroy English football and all its heritage? I think it would, to be honest. It would destroy English football. It would destroy the Premier League. It would destroy all the cups, like the FA Cups and all of that. Everything. I just think it won't happen. I think that financially they want it to happen. I think what is most likely to happen is they might do a tournament away from like the Champions League, where it's just like an elite tournament where it's just the top teams and they share the money between them, like the Barca's, the Uniteds, the Bayern Munich's and all of that. They might do something like that. I don't think they'll do a breakaway league like full time, because I just feel like with all the travelling with the fans in between countries, like where would they do them? Like away games, man, they get in the plane and that. I just think that it just wouldn't happen because of logistics and obviously like getting people to games and all of that. It just simply, it's not feasible, innit? However, I feel like if they could do it and it could be seamless, then they would. So for me, I think there's more likely that the Champions League will get like rebranded almost and cut down just to the elite few, and that would be it. But I don't know, we'll see. What do you guys think about this concept? Do you think that it's a probable thing, a realistic proposal? All right, at Just Zeno, why do you think Gomez has not made the breakthrough for United? See, here it is. Considering our midfield lack creativity, and do you think the season is make or break for him to get in the squad and start at least the Carabao Cup games? Bro, I think it's simply down to his size, isn't it? And that's the problem with England. That Ollie was one of them ones. He's looking at Gomez, yeah. Bro, Gomez technically is one of the best players at the club, but he's small, innit? And in England, they're always obsessed with physicality and size and all that. And I think that's the main reason why he hasn't broken through, because technically there's no reason, bro. He's better. He's as good, if not better, than Andreas Pereira, bro. He is. But he's tiny. I think he's like 5'6" and that. But he's like Sterling size. But he plays in the middle of the park. And when you play in the middle of the park, you're expected to have a certain physical presence by a lot of managers. I can't see any other reason other than physical reasons why Gomez is not in the starting lineup, and that makes me sick, to be honest. So for me, outside of Mason Greenwood, I think he's got the most natural swag, natural baller. So I'd love to see him given a chance, man. I would fucking love it. All right, last couple questions. At Mr. Max Son, going into the new season, what system do you think we should play that will help us compete with the teams around us? I believe we should have a system and style of play in place, then sign players to suit that system. I think we do, to be honest. I think that Ollie's system and style of play is going to be 4-3-3, high press. Like, that's just it. Like, so he'll want young, energetic kind of players. Like, tactically, he's not as good as Klopp or Pep or Poch. So, even though he has a system, it's not that obvious, isn't it, for me? I'd prefer a more obvious system. Like, under LVG, we had an obvious system. Even though it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, it was a system and we knew what we were getting every single game. With Ollie, we kind of don't. So I think that it is weak. Like, I think that he's still learning what he's about and what he wants to do. And his philosophy is not really at its most potent at the moment. So I would go for 4-3-3 for sure. More creativity in the midfield. Pogba can't be the only creative player, so you need to add one as well. And I think that's what they're trying to do with Fernandes and Pogba. If you get them two in there, that is super creativity. And then, obviously, in the final third, you just have to be elusive. You just have to be, man. Like, you get there, like, pick your spot, bruv. You just have to be clinical. The movement needs to be better. Like, the movement in the final third is poor. Yeah, man. It's hard, bro. It is very hard. But I just don't think... Yeah, we don't have nothing nailed on at the moment, so... now I'm talking about it, it's all stressing man out, bruv. Yeah, you know, like that. I think we need a striker, in all honesty. Like, it's not in here, but I spoke about it in Rants Red Talk. As much as Lukaku's leaving, yeah, like, I have a feeling he's not going to play Martial up front. And if Rashford's our striker till the end of the season, I don't see him getting 20 goals. I don't think he's good enough. Let me know what you think in the comment section about the system, guys. System in place, sign players around that, or sign players and then try and accommodate them. Which way would you do it? And last but not least, main man Mo. Why is it that our fans say we shouldn't buy big names, and when we are linked with the likes of James and Longstaff, everyone goes crazy? Also, keep up the good work. See, bruv, you know what it is? Yeah, we shouldn't just go after big names for the sake of big names, but most of the time, big names, yeah, usually equate to a big level of player, big elite player, big performances. It hasn't always been the case, but 9 times out of 10, if you buy a big name, the reason why these man's names are big is because they're ballers, okay? James is relatively unknown, and I think he's got like 4 goals in the championship last season. So as much as people want to gas and they keep showing the same goal when he ran from the edge of his own box and that, he's not doing that every game, innit? Like, so stop gassing that. And then Longstaff is looking like a B-Tech Carrick, bro. That's what he's looking at. I think people are just annoyed because it shows a lack of ambition, you know, because we have money. So when we've got dough to spend, a man is spending, like, man want to spend peas on these guys that potentially are going to cost the same amount as really good ballers, because these guys are young and British. So I don't know. I think there's a mixture. Some fans just can't be pleased, and you don't have to worry about that. And then the others are just kind of like, yo, is this showing our ambition that we're going to Newcastle, like, for some don? Do you know what I mean? Like Longstaff and that. So I understand the frustration, because that was the same as me. I was like, yo, we need a centre back and all that, and you man are looking at some Poundland Carrick. But I just really don't know. Like, if I'm honest, I think nobody's wrong in this scenario. I think that if you feel aggrieved that we're looking at man like that and you saw the names linked, you're well justified, you're well within your rights. And if you think, yo, this is a sick signing, I can see potential, I can see longevity, then you're also right. I think only time will tell right now. Let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. And that was your Rants Red Talk. Make sure you smash the like button, make sure you share it, Keep it interactive. Jump in them comment sections and give us your opinion on all the topics we've covered. Also follow the Twitter and Instagram. It's at Rants and Bants. And also, if you could follow my boxing gym as well, we're building up the social media numbers. That's been growing steadily, guys. And yeah, every little helps, man. Like, it just helps me to promote the business, to strengthen the algorithm, etc., etc. So any follows would be welcome. I'm gonna put the social media handle in the description. And also, don't forget, if you want fight tickets at the O2 for the 29th of June, make sure you drop me a DM on Twitter, Instagram, and someone's actually emailed me as well, so you can get my email. I don't know, it's somewhere. I don't know where my man found it. I think it's in Twitter or something like that. But either way, your support's appreciated. And yeah, make sure you catch up on this show. And then obviously, man's got 2 more shows dropping tomorrow. Peace.